Willie D Live.
What's up, family? If you haven't heard a lot, you've heard at least a little about the Black Panther Party, which was founded by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale in 1966. What you probably don't know is the truth, and one of the most vile, evil, uncivilized acts Chicago police has ever carried out. In 1969, a group of children sat down to a breakfast before school. On the menu, chocolate milk, eggs, meat, cereal, and fresh oranges. The scene wouldn't be out of place in a school cafeteria these days, but the federal government wasn't providing the food. Instead, breakfast was served thanks to the Black Panther Party. At the time, the militant Black Nationalist Party was vilified in the news media and feared by those intimidated by its message of Black power and its commitment to ending police brutality and the subjugation of Black Americans. But for students eating breakfast, the Black Panthers' politics were less interesting than the meals they were providing. Free food seemed relatively innocuous, but not to the FBI head J. Edgar Hoover, who loathed the Black Panther Party and declared war against them in 1969. This uncivilized mutt called the program potentially the greatest threat to efforts by authorities to neutralize the BPP and destroy what it stands for, and gave carte blanche to law enforcement to destroy it. The results were swift and devastating. Your FBI went door to door in cities like Richmond, Virginia, and told parents that the Black Panther Party members were going to teach their children racism. But wait, there's more. They also told parents that the food was infected with venereal diseases. They went to Oakland, they went to Baltimore, and destroyed the Black Panther offices. And for those kids who participated, they photographed them. They harassed and beat their parents in front of them, traumatizing the kids. The night before the first batch of kids were to be served in Chicago, the uncivilized mutts of the Chicago Police Department, who ain't much different today than they were then, broke into the Episcopal Church, mashed all of the food, and urinated on it. This is food for the nourishment of children who otherwise would go hungry. You see, fam, they do not care. All of this talk about pulling yourself up by the bootstraps and just working hard, that is a lie. That's what they say to deflect. Imagine a nasty person living in your house, just filthy. And they got the nerve to complain to you that the house is dirty when they are the primary reason that the house is dirty. They keep dirty dishes in the sink. They keep clothes on the floor. They don't even flush the toilet. But they got the nerve to tell you about the house being dirty. That's your government. They really don't want Black folks to be okay, to be independent, to work independent of them, because then they cannot control Black folks. See, that's what that was about. They did not like what the Black Panthers was doing because the Black Panthers taught Black people how to be self-sufficient and independent. They were doing for self, and the government didn't like that. Chicago police didn't like that. Chicago mayor didn't like that. The director of the FBI, J. Edgar Hoover, did not like that. Ultimately, U.S. law enforcement's efforts to destroy the Black Panther Party at the behest of J. Edgar Hoover, the director of the FBI, was successful in ending the program. However, the public visibility that came from those free lunch programs put pressure on politicians to feed the children before school. And this is why millions of children all over this country gets a free meal before school today. I ain't got no problem with that. Show Black Panther Party some love, fam. It's never been about just working harder. It's never been about just pulling yourself up by your own bootstraps. It's been about subjugation. It's been about oppression. It's always been about a double standard system. Control. Ultimately, that's what it's about. Control. They knew they could not control black folks if black folks were to ever maintain their independence. Do for self. Because the Black Panther Party was not just about a free lunch program. Let's get that straight out the gate. Black Panther Party was about preventing black folks from getting their head beat in by the police, self-defense. They were building medical clinics, political education. It was about academia. The Black Panther Party was no joke. And that is what Hoover feared more than anything. He and other racist white folks, that's what they really feared more than anything. Black folks doing for self and getting ahead. But what he was able to do is something that they've always been able to do with the help of the media, is whenever they find a black messiah, when they identify somebody as a black messiah, or just somebody who is progressive, that is making waves, positive waves, advancing black folks, they want to step in and try to stop it because they don't want black folks to be independent of government. They want black folks to be dependent. They don't want our black children to be respectful and disciplined. They want them to be disrespectful and undisciplined so that they can get them caught up in the system, because they know that disrespect and that lack of discipline is going to get them caught up in the system, or it's going to get them put in a situation where they're going to become a statistic. That's what they want. They love the fact that the Bloods and the Crips kill each other like animals. They love that. They love to see the youngsters out here just blowing each other heads off. And when they be waving them guns and stuff, they don't fear that. Only the white folks who are removed from law enforcement fear that are removed from law enforcement and law fear that. And that's what they use. They use all those images to justify their mistreatment of black people overall. And they try to target a person who is really for the community. And they give passes to those who don't really mean nothing. Those who ain't really doing nothing, they ain't no threat, they ain't gonna have no problems, man. They ain't gonna have no problems. It's the ones who have a voice. It's the ones who are putting in the work. It is the ones who are fearless, not the cowards. There's always been a mandate in this country to seek and destroy any black person who is progressive and cannot be controlled. R.I.P. Huey P. Newton, R.I.P. Bobby Seale, R.I.P. Stokely Carmichael. Salute to all those who have put in the work side by side with those gentlemen, and those of you who are putting in the work today. No more talk.